Power Hour with John Lee.
The JonesTown massacre, it's often referred to. The leader of that particular cult was Jim Jones. There's about 1,000 people there living in this place called JonesTown. It's pure communism, and he decides to intervene. I didn't know the man, so I can't tell you what his motives were. And they tried to leave on a plane, and that's when they were killed. Congressman Ryan and the journalists, but they were shot trying to get on the plane. And it was actually filmed because there were cameramen there. And then they all committed suicide, and you're talking about 909 dead bodies about around this like complex. So there's a big pavilion, and there's just bodies around it. And he's saying it's better to die now than to go back to America or to continue living this way. The Manson family. Charles Manson comes out in the 60s, and it's a changed world. He goes down to San Francisco, to the Mecca, really, the hippie Mecca. So he went down there and started recruiting hippies, basically. Found an old film set of a town. It's where they made all the cowboy movies, and it had been abandoned. And they moved in there. They all worship him, you know. They think he's Jesus. They think he's Jesus and the devil combined. They're tripping. They're gangster tripping all day, every day. And some of the Manson family, as they're known, went in there and slaughtered them. Slaughtered the 8.5-month pregnant Sharon Tate and her friends. You know, a lot of symbols and real sick killings. But most of the brutal stuff was done by women. And when he comes out, he seems to be some kind of mind control master. Mr. Marshall Applewhite. And he developed the thesis that he was not human, he was an alien. And the Hale-Bopp comet that passes by Earth every 2,000 years, that had in its wake, trailing it, a spaceship. Zoom up, well, it's probably beam up, isn't it? But they've got the big eyes, and they're totally detached from reality. But I couldn't be happier. Leave these bodies, and then we'll get our new bodies. So in order to leave the bodies, you have to fucking die. So they committed suicide, apparently in shifts, and all wearing identical or very similar kind of sports clothing. And the men were all castrated. They castrated themselves. I mean, imagine going into a DIY shop and saying, "Look, I'm planning a home castration. What can you recommend?" It was Keith Raniere, and he started this cult. And there's two sisters anyway, and they were the heiresses to this coffee fortune. And they gave him millions. They bankrolled him. He's just gone to jail. He's just gone to prison now. Not jail, prison. He's gone to prison for 120 years. And the crimes are, amongst others, branding, sexual slavery, and people trafficking. And what's made this case even more interesting is that Alison Mack was his number 2. Who's Alison Mack? She is an actress, an American actress who became famous as Chloe Sullivan in Smallville. So Kristen Kruk and Alison Mack, they got involved in this cult. Kristen Kruk thought, nah, this is shady, and left. And she became the number 2, right? Recruiting women and bringing them in and turning them into sex slaves. And they were branding them, hot iron branding. Just near the hip bone as well. It must be tremendously painful, that. She's been busted for racketeering, which means she's running a criminal enterprise for profit.